Fact 50. Vatican City fits inside Central Park. Vatican City covers just 0.17 square miles, making it the world's smallest country. Central Park in New York City is 1.3 square miles, meaning you could fit Vatican City inside it 7 times over. Despite its tiny size, Vatican City is a fully independent nation with its own government, postal system, and radio station. The entire country has a population of around 800 people, fewer than most apartment buildings. Vatican City proves that geographic size has no correlation with global influence or cultural importance. Fact 49. The longest place name has 85 letters. Taumatauhakatangi hanga ko awau o tamateat. Uripu kaka piki maunga horonukupokai wenu. Akitanatahu is a hill in New Zealand with the world's longest place name. The Maori name translates roughly to the place where Tamatea played his flute to his loved one. The hill stands just 305 meters tall, unremarkable except for its name. Locals simply call it Tamata Hill. The name demonstrates how indigenous languages create geographic names that tell entire stories. Fact 48. Mount Thor has Earth's steepest vertical drop. Mount Thor in Canada features a 1,250-meter vertical drop at a 105-degree overhang. The cliff face is actually steeper than vertical, meaning it overhangs its base. The sheer granite wall attracts rock climbers attempting one of Earth's most challenging big wall climbs. Mount Thor proves that Earth still contains geography that humans can barely access despite modern technology. Fact 47. There are underwater waterfalls in the ocean. The Denmark Strait Cataract between Greenland and Iceland is the world's largest waterfall. This underwater waterfall drops 3,500 meters and carries 175 million cubic feet of water per second. Cold, dense water sinks below warmer water, creating a cascade beneath the ocean surface. The underwater waterfall is over 3 times taller than Angel Falls. Ocean geography includes features as dramatic as any on land. Fact 46. Singapore gained 25% more land through reclamation. Singapore has expanded its territory by over 25% since independence through land reclamation. The country added 130 square kilometers to its land area by dumping sand into coastal waters. Entire neighborhoods, the airport, and industrial zones sit on artificial land. Singapore imports sand from neighboring countries to create new geography. By 2030, Singapore plans to add another 100 square kilometers. Fact 45. The Richet structure is a desert eye visible from space. The Richet structure in Mauritania is a massive circular formation 50 kilometers in diameter. Also called the Eye of the Sahara, the structure is visible from space and resembles a giant bullseye. Scientists now believe it's an eroded geological dome. The concentric circles are alternating layers of hard and soft rock exposed by erosion. Fact 44. Pripyat has been abandoned since 1986. Pripyat in Ukraine was evacuated after Chernobyl and remains abandoned. The city of 50,000 people was cleared in a single day. Nature has reclaimed the city over 35 years with trees growing through buildings. The exclusion zone covers 2,600 square kilometers that may remain uninhabitable for thousands of years. Fact 43. Mongolia is the most sparsely populated country. Mongolia has a population density of just 2 people per square kilometer. The country is larger than Alaska but has only 3.3 million residents. The geography of mountains, deserts, and steppes cannot support dense populations. Mongolia contains more horses than people. Fact 42. The Bay of Fundy tides can exceed 16 meters. The Bay of Fundy between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia experiences the world's highest tides. Tides can reach 16.3 meters, roughly the height of a 5-story building. The bay's funnel shape amplifies tides. The bay's tides move 160 billion tons of water twice daily. Fact 41. Surtsey Island rose from the ocean in 1963. Surtsey Island emerged from the Atlantic during a volcanic eruption off Iceland's coast. The island formed over 3 years between 1963 and 1967. Scientists have monitored Surtsey since birth, documenting how life colonizes new land. The island is already eroding and may disappear within centuries. Fact 40. The Salar de Uyuni creates a perfect mirror. The Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia is the world's largest salt flat, covering 10,582 square kilometers. When covered with water during rainy season, it becomes a perfect mirror reflecting the sky. The salt flat contains 10 billion tons of salt. The solar is crucial for satellite calibration. If you're shocked by these facts, hit subscribe. There's more coming. Fact 39. Blood Falls flows. Red from Antarctic ice. Blood Falls in Antarctica is a waterfall that flows bright red from Taylor Glacier. The color comes from iron-rich salt water oxidizing when exposed to air. The water source is a subglacial lake trapped for 2 million years. The lake contains bacteria that survive without sunlight. Fact 38. There's a boiling river in the Amazon. The Chennai-Timpishka River in Peru maintains temperatures near boiling for over 6 kilometers. Water temperatures reach 91 degrees Celsius, hot enough to kill animals. The river is heated by geothermal activity. Scientists only confirmed its existence in 2011. Fact 37. Zealandia is Earth's hidden eighth continent. Zealandia is a massive continent that's 94% submerged beneath the Pacific. The continent covers 4.9 million square kilometers. Only New Zealand and New Caledonia poke above water. Zealandia broke off from Australia 85 million years ago and gradually sank. Fact 36. The Skeleton Coast is lined with shipwrecks. Namibia's Skeleton Coast earned its name from numerous shipwrecks along its shores. The coast is treacherous due to thick fog, strong currents, and violent surf. Hundreds of ships have wrecked over centuries. The wrecks rust on beaches in one of Earth's most desolate deserts. Fact 35. Mount Roraima inspired the Lost World. Mount Roraima is a flat-topped mountain with vertical cliffs rising 400 meters. Arthur Conan Doyle based his novel The Lost World on Roraima's geography. The summit has endemic species that evolved in isolation. The mountain sits where Brazil, Venezuela, and Guyana meet. Fact 34. The door to hell has burned. Since 1971, the Darvaza gas crater in Turkmenistan has been on fire since 1971. The crater is 69 meters wide and 30 meters deep. Soviet geologists accidentally created it while drilling. They set it on fire expecting it to burn out in weeks. The crater has burned continuously for over 50 years. Fact 33. The Skeleton Lake contains hundreds of ancient skeletons. Rupkund Lake in India sits at 5,029 meters in the Himalayas. The lake contains skeletal remains of 200 to 600 people who died between the 7th and 10th centuries. When snow melts, skulls and bones become visible. The deaths likely resulted from a severe hailstorm. Fact 32. Centralia has been burning underground since 1962. Centralia, Pennsylvania sits above a coal seam burning for over 60 years. The fire started in 1962 and spread through abandoned mines. The town was evacuated. Centralia will burn for another 250 years based on available coal. Fact 31. The Moeraki boulders are perfectly spherical. The Moeraki boulders on New Zealand's coast are nearly perfect spheres up to 3 meters in diameter. The boulders formed over millions of years through concretion. They eroded out of coastal cliffs. Maori legend says they're cargo from a legendary canoe wreck. Fact 30. Devil's Tower is sacred to Native Americans. Devil's Tower in Wyoming rises 386 meters above surrounding terrain. The tower is the exposed core of an ancient volcano. Over 20 Native American tribes consider the tower sacred. The tower was America's first national monument, designated in 1906. Fact 29. The Chocolate Hills turn brown in dry season. The Chocolate Hills in the Philippines consist of at least 1,260 cone-shaped hills. The hills are covered in grass that turns brown during dry season, resembling chocolate. The hills range from 30 to 120 meters in height. Geologists believe they formed from coral deposits. Fact 28. The wave is a sandstone formation that looks liquid. The wave in Arizona is sandstone with undulating stripes, creating an optical illusion of flowing water. The formation is 190 million years old. Only 20 people per day are allowed to visit. Winners are selected by lottery months in advance. Fact 27. Socotra Island has trees that look like umbrellas. Socotra Island off Yemen is so isolated that 1/3 of its plant species exist nowhere else. The dragon's blood tree has a distinctive umbrella shape. Socotra separated from mainland Africa 20 million years ago. The island is called the Galapagos of the Indian Ocean. Fact 26. The Fly Geyser is accidentally man-made. Fly Geyser in Nevada was created accidentally in 1964 when a geothermal well was improperly sealed. Mineral-rich water sprays continuously. The geyser's vivid colors come from thermophilic algae. The formations grow several inches per year. Fact 25. Kotzky Pillar has a church on top. Kotzky Pillar in Georgia is a 40-meter limestone monolith with a church on its summit. Monks have used the pillar since the 9th century. A single monk has lived there since the 1990s, accessed only by ladder. If you've made it this far, subscribe and turn on notifications. Fact 24. The Crooked Forest has 400 mysteriously bent trees. The Crooked Forest in Poland contains approximately 400 pine trees bent at 90-degree angles. All trees curve northward identically. The trees were planted around 1930 and likely manipulated when young. Nobody knows for certain who bent them or why. Fact 23. The Waitomo Caves glow with bioluminescent worms. The Waitomo Caves in New Zealand are illuminated by thousands of glowworms. The glowworms are larvae that produce bioluminescent light to attract prey. Boat tours pass through dark caves beneath a galaxy of glowing creatures. Fact 22. Spotted Lake crystallizes into colored pools. Spotted Lake in British Columbia becomes polka-dotted during summer as water evaporates. The lake contains high concentrations of minerals. As water evaporates, minerals crystallize into colorful spots of yellow, green, and blue. The Okanagan First Nations consider it sacred. Fact 21. Giant's Causeway has 40,000 hexagonal columns. The Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland consists of approximately 40,000 interlocking basalt columns. The columns formed when lava cooled rapidly and cracked into hexagonal shapes. Irish legend attributes the causeway to giants building a bridge to Scotland. Fact 20. Pamukkale's terraces are made of travertine. Pamukkale in Turkey features white travertine terraces cascading down a hillside. Hot springs deposit calcium carbonate, building terraces over thousands of years. The name Pamukkale means cotton castle in Turkish. Fact 19. The Great Blue Hole is a 300-meter wide sinkhole. The Great Blue Hole off Belize is a massive underwater sinkhole 300 meters across and 125 meters deep. The hole formed when a limestone cave system collapsed during the last ice age. Jacques Cousteau declared it one of the top diving sites on Earth. Fact 18. Antelope Canyon was carved by flash floods. Antelope Canyon in Arizona consists of narrow slot canyons carved by flash flood erosion. Light beams shine through narrow openings, creating spectacular photography opportunities. The canyon is on Navajo land and can only be visited with guides. Fact 17. The marble caves are carved from solid marble. The marble caves in Chile are formed in solid marble and reflect vibrant blue water. The caves sit in a remote glacial lake. Water erosion over 6,000 years carved the caves. The blue reflection comes from glacial meltwater. Fact 16. Mount Nemrut has ancient stone heads on its summit. Mount Nemrut in Turkey is topped with 8 to 9 meter tall stone heads from the 1st century BCE. King Antiochus IV built a tomb sanctuary on the 2,134-meter summit. The heads belong to statues of Greek and Persian gods. Fact 15. Tsingy de Bemaraha is a stone forest. Tsingy de Bemaraha in Madagascar is a landscape of needle-sharp limestone formations. The name Tsingy means where one cannot walk barefoot. The formations reach 70 meters high and are nearly impenetrable. Fact 14. Deadvlei has 900-year-old dead trees. Deadvlei in Namibia is a white clay pan surrounded by red dunes. Dead camel thorn trees stand preserved, some over 900 years old. The trees died when the river changed course. The extreme dryness preserved the trees. Fact 13. The 7 colored earths never erode. The 7 colored earths in Mauritius are sand dunes with 7 distinct colors. The colors result from volcanic ash weathering into clay at different rates. Remarkably, if you mix the colors, they eventually separate again. Fact 12. Lake Hillier is permanently bright pink. Lake Hillier in Australia is a bright pink lake surrounded by green forest and blue ocean. The lake is permanently pink. Unlike other pink lakes that change seasonally, the color likely comes from bacteria and algae. Fact 11. Sailing stones move across Death Valley. Rocks weighing up to 700 pounds move across Racetrack Playa in Death Valley, leaving trails. The rocks move when thin ice sheets form and wind pushes them. The phenomenon was a mystery until cameras captured it in 2014. Fact 10. Huacachina is a desert oasis with a lagoon. Huacachina in Peru is a tiny village built around a natural desert oasis. The lagoon sits surrounded by massive sand dunes reaching 1,000 meters high. Only 100 people live permanently in the village. The oasis was a tourist attraction for Peru's elite in the 1940s. Fact 9. The Tianzi Mountains inspired Avatar. The Tianzi Mountains in China feature vertical sandstone pillars reaching over 1,000 meters. Over 3,000 quartzite sandstone pillars create a surreal landscape. The mountains inspired the floating Hallelujah Mountains in the film Avatar. The area is part of Zhangjiajie National Forest Park. Fact 8. The Tunnel of Love is formed by trees. The Tunnel of Love in Ukraine is a railway section surrounded by green arches formed by trees. The trees create a tunnel effect over a 3-kilometer stretch. The tunnel changes appearance with seasons. Couples visit believing it grants wishes if their love is sincere. Fact 7. Cappadocia has underground cities. Cappadocia in Turkey contains underground cities carved from soft volcanic rock. The cities extend multiple stories underground with rooms, tunnels, and ventilation shafts. Derinkuyu is the deepest, descending 85 meters with 18 levels. The cities housed thousands of people during invasions. Fact 6. The bioluminescent bay glows blue. Mosquito Bay in Vieques, Puerto Rico contains the brightest bioluminescent bay on Earth. Dinoflagellates produce light when disturbed, making the water glow blue. The bay contains 720,000 organisms per gallon. Swimming through the water creates glowing trails. Fact 5. Zhangye has rainbow mountains. Zhangye in China features mountains with striped patterns in multiple colors. The layers formed from sandstone and minerals deposited over 24 million years. The colors include red, yellow, orange, green, and blue. The patterns look painted despite being entirely natural. Fact 4. The Underwater Museum has 500 sculptures. The Cancun Underwater Museum features over 500 life-size sculptures on the ocean floor. The sculptures were placed to create artificial reefs and reduce pressure on natural reefs. Coral and marine life colonize the sculptures. Divers and snorkelers can explore the underwater gallery. Fact 3. The red beach is actually red. Red beach in China gets its color from a type of seaweed called sueda. The seaweed turns bright red in autumn, covering the beach and tidal flats. The red carpet stretches across vast areas of the Liaohe River Delta. The beach is one of the world's largest wetlands. Fact 2. The petrified forest contains stone trees. The petrified forest in Arizona contains fossilized trees that turned to stone over 225 million years ago. The trees fell and were buried by volcanic ash and sediment. Minerals gradually replaced organic material, turning wood to colorful stone. Some petrified logs measure over 30 meters long. Fact 1. Machu Picchu was built without mortar. Machu Picchu in Peru was built by the Inca without mortar or cement. The stones fit so precisely that a knife blade cannot fit between them. The citadel sits at 2,430 meters elevation on a mountain ridge. The site was abandoned during the Spanish conquest and rediscovered in 1911. Machu Picchu demonstrates how ancient civilizations created geography-defying architecture. The stones were cut and shaped so perfectly that the structures have survived earthquakes for over 500 years in one of Earth's most seismically active regions. Which incredible geography fact blew your mind? Drop a comment and subscribe for more.